watching on as the players take the knee in the continuing battle against racism and all social injustice in football and in society. Under the floodlights at Stamford Bridge, we're off and underway. Manchester City top at second place and reigning champions Chelsea. It's the biggest game of the WSL season so far. It's the one people have been licking their lips in anticipation for. At the heart of the Manchester City midfield, you won't see Hasagawa miss too many passes out from that position. The very, very good Japanese international hasn't missed a minute in the league this season, and she very rarely misplaces a pass. 25, Yui Hasegawa. Our compatriot, Yamashita, and out towards Alana Kennedy, another one who hasn't missed a minute so far. Also played in recent internationals for Australia. Busy early few months of the season for her. Here's Jess Park, very quick across the ground. 6 league starts this season. She only missed 1 game, 23 years of age. What an outstanding start Sonia Bonpastor has made. Just a comparison, put it into perspective, Emma Hayes' win rate as Chelsea manager was 71.17%. Bonpastor already has a win rate of 85%. Early days, I know. Emma Hayes was successful over a mighty period of time. Yamashita, 5 clean sheets in her 8 games so far. Kennedy slightly dwelt on it, and quick to oppose and put under pressure was Maika Hamano, one of the Japanese internationals we see today. That is a Manchester City throw, despite what Guru Wrighton thinks. Very talented players on both sides. There's Kennedy. Anna Kennedy seems to have been around for ever and a day. She's 29 now. Relatively young still. Yamashita has only missed 1 league game so far. That was the Tottenham game, but she played again in the week. And here's Kadisha Bunny Short. Got the pass in too short. It's cleared away by the Chelsea right back Lucy Bronze, and there's a foul. Ramirez bringing down Bunny Short. Kadisha Shaw has 28 goals last season and this season in the WSL, 13 more than any other player in that time. Kasparov is having a good season. Right back, away for Chelsea. They started with Tamano in a more central position in the supporting midfield, and Wrighton has come out wide to the left to have a go at Kasparov early on. That is a bit of a surprise because Wrighton has absolutely excelled in that more central role. There's Alex Greenwood, captain of Manchester City. Done so well, having moved in from her previous regular left-back role into centre-back over the last 2 or 3 years, only to replace the retired Steph Houghton, who's now an ambassador, by the way, at Manchester City, which is great to see. An ambassador for the whole parent club, and deservedly so. Millie Bright, league ever present this season. She missed 5 months of last campaign with a knee injury. Decent ball out wide by Ramirez. Cross looks for Wrighton coming into the far post, and Kasparov was aware of the danger. But it's interesting that Chelsea have moved her out wide. Maybe they sense a weakness in Kirsten Kasparov, although she's been very consistent, the Dutch right back. And she was on her toes there and focused. First corner of the game goes to Chelsea. Good defending. Half-volleyed clearance away. Romano will take the corner kick to the far post. Bright was coming in. First effort we've had on goal, and a comfortable save in the end for Ayaka Yamashita. Allowed to get the header in. Poor defending there by Jill Ward, who got turned on the ground. Big names missing. We mentioned Hemp, we've mentioned Kerr, also Lauren James not involved for Chelsea. Here's Kennedy, coming from Tottenham Hotspur. Had a year there. She slipped it wide to Kasparai beyond Brighton. Isagawa. Broad, very influential, wearing 10, and she sort of plays in the 10 role. Now here's Laila Ouahabi, who's been terrific at left-back for Manchester City this season. Came from that very good setup at Barcelona. She had 2 spells there. 15 major trophies as a Barcelona player, Ouahabi. Kennedy. Again, hugging the line was Kasparai. It's a good spin by Fujino. Comes to nothing. Fujino starting on the right and foul on the left for Manchester City. Oh, it's a risk taken here. There's a foul. Mashta took a risk by coming out. Was foul. Here's Greenwood. Isagawa to Kennedy. Kennedy, something bit short, pressurised by Hermano. And here's the run of Erin Cuthbert. Not seen a lot of her so far, the excellent Erin Cuthbert. What a consistent player she has been over the years. Largely been the glue that has held Chelsea together. Mistake by Kennedy was very nearly punished. Star names around Cuthbert since she joined the club back in 2016 from Glasgow, but she has shone as brightly as anything. Bright's touch was heavy. Few nerves out there. Hampton gets it away. Manchester City unbeaten in their last 3 WSL meetings with Chelsea. In fact, only Arsenal have had more wins over the Blues in the competition than City. They've had 7. Kasparai, one of her jobs will be to pound forward on the right-hand side, to drive right in back. It's a good defender by Chelsea's Sandy Baltimore. French international, who we've seen many times play a lot higher up the pitch as a genuine left winger. Also on the right, but recently has been left back for Chelsea, or left wing back. But for Ramirez. Foraging possession for Chelsea, back there was written Canarad. And down that right-hand side for Chelsea. She'll cover a lot of ground to Johanna Rytting Kaneryd, Swedish international, second year at the club. She'll do her work defensively, just snapped him with a challenge there. That's a foul. They've got too tight to Jill Ward. Isagawa. Kasparai. Lots of open spaces under the floodlights at Stamford Bridge. Shaw is giving it away, and then the referee blows a little bit belatedly. Drop deep to pick it up and try and bring others into play. Millie Bright had her arm on her shoulder. Greenwood. That's Ualbi again. Catalan girl. She comes from Barcelona area. As I said, she had great days there. Roared. Hasagawa. Ualbi. Now we're in the hemp roll. Lauren Hemp is has been the most creative player in the WSL, as I was saying early on. Badly missed. Right. Hemp has created nearly 30 chances this season, 5 assists for goals. Here's Bronze. Buffeted off it by Ualbi. Knew each other from Barcelona days. Positive move amongst the Chelsea supporters in this ground. Hampton plays out through Millie Bright. And Mano overcooks the pass. Game could swing on the performances of the two creators for the number 10 players, Samano for Chelsea and Jill Roord for Manchester City. Here's Kennedy. Campbelltown in Australia. Kasparai. Very good spell at FC20 before she came to English football. She won the league a couple of times there, Kasparai. Ualbi, sloppy with the pass. No strength in the challenge by Roord nor Fowler. Chelsea wanted it more. Hitting Canary. That ball alone here. Well, she did, but there was no end product. The worry for Manchester City is that she was allowed to carry it so far. Picked it up in a deep position here. And Manchester City backed off and continued to back off. Then Greenwood engaged on the ball and she scuffed the shot. Poor effort at the end of that. In good form though, Rutin Kanerud, with those 4 goals in 6 games for Chelsea and Sweden. Hampton. Here's Greenwood. Chelsea dominated early on possession-wise. They've not found a breakthrough. And Manchester City always have the threat of Khadija Bunny Shaw looming large in the middle of your picture there. Here's Bjorn playing on the right-hand side of Millie Bright, who would prefer to play in that right side centre-back position herself. Should be cleared away. Dropped a little bit too short for Oba for Gino. Came in the summer from the Tokyo Verdy Beleza club. Misplaced pass by Hannah Hampton, the England international goalkeeper. Birthday today. And 24. Yamashita coming a long way out. Fowler kept in check so far by Lucy Bronze. There's a little push by Richard Cannerid. Now Kennedy. Just past the 250 club career game mark as Kennedy. Kasparai looks long for the pace of Jess Park. And Millie Bright shepherds it out. You can see there though how quickly Jess Park covered ground. Pasteur could become the first ever manager to win each of first 7 games in the WSL. And in all, she's won 37 of her 40 home league games in the dugout, here and with Lyon, who she took to the Champions League and 3 French titles. I was fortunate enough to watch her star for France as well on many occasions, including 5 majors for them. Here's Kennedy. Hasagawa, it's a decent pass through, looking for Ward, who found a pocket of space but couldn't bring it under control. I think the occasion at the moment is affecting 1 or 2 players, and indeed their close control. Greenwood. Danger should be seen off there. And it was his Lucy Bronze. Out of defence here. Wouldn't quite come to Cannerid. Strong run of defence by Natalie Bjorn though, wasn't it? Tall Swedish international, very cosmopolitan league, the WSL. They come from all over the world to play in this league, to prove it's the strongest in the world of women's football. The Spanish league would contest that, maybe the German as well. Here's a Wabi. Manchester City have played themselves in trouble here. Mano. Pressure on her by Manchester City, forcing her backwards. And the error was by Millie Bright. Manchester City 67 possessions so far, not a single touch. Yes, I don't think they've had a touch in the Chelsea penalty area. But they so often find a way. They've won 17 of their 19 WSL games in 2024. If they do win today, it'll be for the first time they've done 18 in a single calendar year. Right, wrestling with Khadija Shaw. Crucial tussle that as the game goes on. Bjorn. If you're wondering why we haven't seen any close-ups pitch side of Gareth Taylor, he's up in the stands, by the way. Here's Greenwood. Cuthbert is there, scuttling away, working hard. It's in Cannerid. Chance here for Chelsea. They've got an overload in the middle. Comes back to Amana. Got underneath it, scooped it over. It's an opportunity, that's for sure. Good work by Cuthbert. Friedrich and Cannerid who got in behind Huabi. Manu just pulled back into position, and she had more time than she knew. Just checked her run, which gave her 3 yards of space. Lack composure in there, possibly doesn't get enough goals. Couple last season, 3 this. Played in the Olympics for Japan in the summer. There is Gareth Taylor. Centre forward in his day. Part of the team that came up from the 3rd tier to the top with Manchester City. In the epic playoff game at Wembley against Gillingham. A hot bank holiday weekend, I was there that day. Remarkable game. Now here come Chelsea. Yushkin won it, didn't use it profitably. Neither team protecting the ball particularly well in possession. .39th league game in a row for Yui Hasegawa. Lucy Bronze. And here is Baltimore, used a lot higher up the field for her country in her various clubs before coming to Chelsea. Here's Shaw, dragged it. And you wouldn't have expected that of Khadija Bunny Shaw. And they've yet to have a shot on target, the league leaders, after 21 minutes. Poor back pass by Baltimore. She looked like a left winger playing left back there. Lacking awareness, positional awareness. And Shaw, you'd normally expect her to gobble that up. 189 club career games. She's scored 167 goals. Amam. Ramirez is through the middle. It's a lovely deep run in there from Shokaniskin. Slightly overhit, the German international couldn't pick it up. Manchester City playing a lot out through Alana Kennedy. Just gone beyond the halfway mark of the first period. Greenwood. These two clubs have set the bar so high in the last couple of seasons. Neither really can ever afford to lose this. Ramirez went for it. Direct. Ping at goal. And Ramirez straight down the throats of Ayaka Yamashita. Very experienced international goalkeeper. Won the Asian Cup with Japan back in 2018. Played in World Cups. Olympics. Not been able to get into the game at this moment in time. Mary Fowler. A free kick. A challenge on Nuskin by Roord. Baltimore, whose error should have seen Manchester City ahead. Bjorn. He's bright. mentioned Yamashita's international experience, so many players here. They've got huge international experience. She's played 130 games for Australia, Kennedy. Who's Cuthbert, always a regular for Scotland. And recently for them in the 2 games against Hungary, scored in the 4-0 at home. Baltimore, finds Wrighton. She's picked it up off the defender's mistake, could have gone down actually. Newskin fires over. Wasteful. Kasparov got off the hook there. Wrighton dispossessed her and she wrapped her arm around Wrighton's midriff. And had the Chelsea player gone down, I think she would have got a penalty. She was holding on to her shirt. Noticeably, Guro Wrighton didn't go down, didn't fall, didn't tumble, didn't moan, didn't groan. Got on with it. Manchester City conservative, cagey so far. Sagawa wants to join in, doesn't she, Yamashita? Remember the first time I saw it international level was in the World Cup of 2019 in France. When Japan went out of that tournament, the players went to all 4 corners of the ground, bowed to all the supporters, and the supporters cleared up every piece of mess around them. Left the stadium immaculate. Chance here now then for Jess Park, wriggling her way through. Tried to play the 1-2 with Bunny Shaw, very calmly dealt with. Oh, Lucy Bronze, great roar went up from the Chelsea supporters there. For Bronze's calmness. Nearly wriggled her through though. Got pace and trickery, front foot player direct. Confidently done by Lucy Bronze. Jess Park now part of Lucy Bronze's England squad. Baltimore a regular with France, still scored recently for them in a game against Jamaica. Oh, it's another mistake, they've given it away this time. Amano Shaw can raw profit, and once more Lucy Bronze covered ground very quickly there. Twice Chelsea have nearly let Manchester City through. Here's Johanna Retting-Canaret. Uwabi, Chelsea look a little bit flustered now. And Shaw beyond the defence. Offside flag caught. Can't keep making mistakes like that. Shaw might have released a little bit earlier than she did, and the pass was too far wide for Jill Roord's supporting run. Fowler. Greenwood very nearly caught in possession, just nicked out a foot and got it back again. Hasegawa. Good switch of play. And the offside flag caught her compatriot Ayoba Fujina. Matt Joyce and John Ashworth Sears, the assistants today to referee Mel Burgett. Kirsty Dowie is the 4th official. Well played, Shokaniewski. Ham in Germany. Lucy Bronze. Could have played for Portugal, of course, through her family. Dad is Portuguese. He's bright. Ramirez. Mano tries to work around the corner. That's well played by Chelsea. Very quickly worked off by Maya Ramirez to the runner Johanna Retting-Canaret. Ramirez has gone wide. Another one who's played in World Cups and Olympics, was there with Colombia actually in Paris this summer, scored 1 goal there. Cuthbert. Haman. Manchester City just dawdled a little bit. It's in Canary, has a look. Cuthbert had to stretch. Baltimore's gone out wide to the left. Well, that looked like a foul by Park, and then there's a coming together between Jess Park and Erin Cuthbert, who clearly thought, yes, it should have been a foul in the first place. A retribution. Half an hour played. Kennedy. Chelsea defensively very watchful of Shaw and her runs, but they have made the 2 mistakes. A bit risky at times, Chelsea. She's a coach that doesn't mind risks being taken. Amana, Ramirez, hefty touch there by Nurskitt. She'll roar for Manchester City. Says she doesn't mind her team taking risks, Sonia Bonpastor, but down on the touchline, below the camera position, she's been clapping her hands in frustration once or twice. Here's Kennedy. Now, over Fujino. Ward couldn't control it. Hasegawa had to come across and cover, which she does very well, by the way. Very consistent in there. And came from West Ham a couple of years ago. Spinning. Trying to make her way forward for Chelsea down the left was Baltimore. Looked like a winger there, didn't she? Right to Ramirez. Chelsea kicking away from the Matthew Harding end of the ground, named after a famous benefactor at the club here who tragically died in a helicopter crash. Far west stand. It's where all the dignitaries sit. And Greenwood covers Manchester City defending the shed end of the ground, named after notorious, vibrant, passionate Chelsea end from the days of the 70s. Cuthbert. I saw my first ever game of football in that far stand. Much changed these days. That was 58 years ago now, just after the World Cup, 66. That's offside. I think she's been crucial. 5 titles, 3 cups, 2 League Cups, Community Shield as a Chelsea player, Gura Wright. Lucy Bronze, arguably the most successful English player ever. It smells with Lyon and Barcelona alone bought 5 Champions League winning medals. Here's Kennedy now. Park used the ball sensibly. Awabi coming into the line. Very much Manchester City style across the club. Inverted fullbacks. Hasegawa uses Kennedy to find Kasparai. Fujino, sloppy from her as well. Ramirez going to run her to her left-hand side, and Nurskitt gets a bit of support. Amano in the middle. Dropped the pass in too short and Greenwood got it away. The importance of the occasion is affecting the players' touch, rhythm. A huge amount at stake if Manchester City draw 4 points clear tonight, even though it'll be very early days in the season, not even halfway through. It would still be a sizable lead. Neither are expected to drop many points from here on in. Kennedy on that far side now, up towards Shaw. Park in a more central role, using it well. Mary Fowler. She's run up Bronze, who's kept her quiet so far. She got the cross in, and Bjorn had to stretch to get there. One of the taller players out there, Natalie Bjorn, 5'9", Swedish international. Kennedy. Here's Kasparai. Giroud to Fujino, beginning to come into the game now. Summer signing from Japanese football. Here's Kennedy. Fujino come out wide again. Shaw. They got the cross in here, no, disappointingly dropped in short from Kasparai. Here's Bunny Shaw turning away from Cuthbert. And there's a good covering challenge by Nurskind. Deflected it wide. You can sense Khadija Bunny Shaw getting a little bit impatient and dropping deep there to pick it up, then having a go, having just turned. And a kick for Manchester City. Greenwood will take it. He's taken a lot of set pieces, deep free kicks, attacking free kicks for club and country over the years. The first corner of the match. 7.5 minutes to go in the first half. Broad could be a target in there, coming away from goal. So brilliant header away. And there's an injured player, great header out by Bjorn. A clump for Ramirez in there, back defending. Lauren Hemp watching on from the stands. Such an incredibly talented player. Badly missed today. Got sent off in the fixture between the two clubs in Manchester last season. Wrapped up against the cold. It's a cold evening, about to get colder still in the UK this week. They say snow is on its way, coldest period of the year so far. It's okay, Mayra Ramirez. Record WSL signing when she moved from Levante last January for around £450,000 sterling. There's the England head coach watching on, Serena Wiegman. And she won't be particularly happy with the kicking of her goalkeeper Hannah Hampton tonight. Kasparak with the throw. Ward coming short. Just since Manchester City have been in more control of the evening. Long for sure, but overhit. Mentioned earlier on the 28 goals she has since the beginning of last season, 30 more than any other player. The next player on the list is Elizabeth Turner, 15, I beg your pardon, 13 shy. Ramirez trying to force it through to Ritinkana, good defending by Uwabi, and then Hasegawa. During that injury break moments ago, right in there, you can see with the blue and pinkish boots, and a long chat with Bonpastor on the touchline. I wonder if she's dropped into a more narrow position, Guro Reiter, to drag Kasparak in with her, to allow space for Sandy Baltimore to attack on the outside. Steadily done by Manchester City. Here's Greenwood. See, Wrighton is certainly playing in a more narrow position. She comes across now to guard against Kasparak playing out. Here's Kennedy, who's had a lot of the ball so far. Neat turn by Rord and by Fujina. Rord rather scuffed her pass and hopped away in frustration. Well, it was a loud Stamford Bridge crowd at kick-off. Manchester City have largely silenced them. Rord saw the opportunity to play in Kasparak, two in the middle, Shaw is in there, Parker's in there. Went near post. Was she going for goal? It forced the save. Hampton felt she had to get across. First save she's had to make. Now let's see if she's going for goal here. I think she was. If she wasn't, it was a desperate cross. I think she's tried to sneak it into the near post. Hampton made short, looking for a 5th clean sheet in 7 games this season. Chelsea unbeaten in 12 matches in all. In comes a cross, Shaw was there. Right, might have just done enough, but she will consider that as a bad miss for her. Came off the side of her head. Not the greatest technique with the header. Difficult to criticise a player who has 82 goals in 94 Manchester City games. In the last WSL game, they beat Tottenham Hotspur 4-0. By and large at a canter, really. It's given away by Uwabi, who's had a tentative moments, and Wrighton plays in behind. Snaffled up by Kennedy, who's been excellent for Manchester City to deny the run of Johanna Ritinkana, who come from right to left. See the run there, getting in behind Kennedy, who's aware she was on her shoulder. Covering from Kennedy, but we are seeing more defensive mistakes from both of these two teams than we're normally seeing from them. 30 seconds ago, plus 2 minutes of added time, I'm told. Mano with the cross, quite deep. Shaw was back defending, under control by Bronze, who had the go at goal. Now Cuthbert. Raud working hard. Just to throw for Chelsea. And she'll leave it for Lucy Bronze. FIFA World Player of the Year back in 2020. She's always been around those sort of awards. She starred for England at the Canadian World Cup Finals of 2015. 2 minutes of stoppage time confirmed. Off goes Shaw. She was pulled back. Be a yellow card here, I would think, for Bjorn. Beyond the defender, there's the shirt tuck. Bronze and Cuthbert would have got back, so I don't think she needed to pull her player back. Greenwood saw the pass there. It's given away. And Chelsea will break off that. There's the big switcher play looking for Wrighton, and well dealt with by Yamashita. Saw the danger early. Been given away initially by Fowler, who's been quiet throughout the whole game. I just wonder whether Gareth Taylor will switch the two. Fowler come to the right, Fujino to the left, as Mary Fowler's had no change out of Lucy Bronze all night long. Chelsea's certainly not playing a high pressing game. That's where they try and snaffle them up in that area. Baltimore. And the half-time whistle blows at Stamford Bridge. Stalemate between the top two. Deja Bunny-Shaw has been off target with a couple of efforts. She should have done better with both, really. Caspera had a shot saved on the angle, might have been a cross. And as far as Chelsea concerned, Britton Cannerad has been bright, got into a good position, but had a tame shot easily saved. Chelsea with more efforts on goal, Manchester City with more of the ball, but it's stalemate at half-time. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0. Into the game, more the player playing in the Lauren Hemp position. Lauren Hemp's knee injury keeping her in the stands, and it'll be Manchester City who will kick us off and underway. In the claret change strip, kicking from right to left then in this second half. And that'll be an early throw for the visiting side. We've won 11 games in 12 in all this season. They drew at Arsenal 2-2 in the opening league game of the season. 10 wins in a row, unbeaten since they lost against Arsenal back in May 13 games ago. And at the moment, by the way, Manchester City are on a run of 385 minutes without conceding a goal. Here's Chilrod. If they win this and stretch their lead at the top of the table to 4 points, they will be hot favourites to land the trophy. Here's Fowler. Trophy they last won in 2016, though they've been runners-up, of course, on a couple of times, including last season. Fujino again starting on the right-hand side, and Kennedy. Raud just looked a little bit sluggish, the turn of foot, a couple of times tonight. Missed a lot of football, of course, had the ACL injury, only just recently back. Ramirez pulled back by Greenwood, that'll be a yellow. Second yellow card produced by the referee today. Identical offences. Bjorn of Chelsea and Alex Greenwood of Manchester City. He's 2 games short of 300 at club career level, Alex Greenwood. There's a marked difference. England's senior players now, the number of club career games they've had compared to 5 or 6 years ago. It's offside against Cuthbert. I remember at World Cup 2015, the USA players seemed to have all played 200, 300, 400 games, and the England Lionesses had played 80, 90, maybe 100. That's offside against Cuthbert. Does like to get forward into those positions, but it's only the 1 goal this season. No changes by either coach at half-time. Keeping their powder dry. Ball dropped him a little bit short for Virginia, but she came and got it. Kennedy. Hubby's gone from left back into that central position. Now with her central, Chelsea should read this and play it out wide towards this near side, because they knew the pace of Ritin Kanarib was on. Failed to do so, chance missed. I wonder how long it will be before Manchester City make a change and give Chloe Kelly an outing with her pace. More of an identikit replacement for him, you would have thought, than Fowler. Here's Kennedy. It's a poor ball. Put a teammate into real pressure there. Jess Park did tremendously well with her strength. Not the tallest. Here's Baltimore. One PSG player takes the throw. It was a slight risk and cleared away. Hampton just got there, and Bright just got there as well. Pugino, Bright dragged out wide. Does that leave a space in the middle? As they crossed into the bunny shore, there was cover though for Chelsea by Bjorn. Bit of a muddle back there for Chelsea. Pugino, Shaw, trying to force it back to the arriving Uwabi, and it's cleared away. Ramirez sucks in Kennedy and then bursts away. Too strong there, certainly for Hasegawa. And Greenwood with the covering challenge. Had to time that well. Strength from Ramirez. Kennedy, no way she was going to get back there. In terms of pace, was far too strong for Hasegawa. That's brilliantly defended by Alex Greenwood. Eye on the ball, sweep challenge, perfect technique. Let's hope they never outlaw the sliding challenge. Cuthbert from range, thinks across, and Shaw back defending. Bronze with the cross, pinged in. Looking for Ramirez. Manchester City under pressure. Whiten with a good turn. Chops across back in. And Bjorn's header goes wide. Persistence from Chelsea. Bjorn should have hit the target actually with that header creeping between the 2 defenders. That came in from Everton back in January. A couple of goals for the club. And playing out from the back has nearly been the undoing of Manchester City. Yamashita loops forward. Ward couldn't get there on time. Cuthbert smothered up. Ritin Kanarib with the cross back in, this time safe hands. And the Tokyo-born Ayaka Yamashita. Must have a goalkeeper to win the league most valuable player award in Japan. And the Asian Champions League with the Tokyo Verleta club. Fowler. Arc it forward to Bunny Shaw. Uwabi. See more of the ball now for Gino. They're getting her into the game. Palmer. Settled for that, risking battling away. It's a corner ball though. Manchester City more front foot in this second half. Taking off the shackles, it would seem. Kennedy in there with the height ruled as well. Little Ravi is in on the goalkeeper. And he Shaw's the target, coming short with the header, glanced it forward. Well, she's had 4 efforts now, 3 off target, that's the first on. She's going to get one of these. Bjorn. Here's Bronze. Virginia's come across to this near side. Fought back well, won it. Bronze fouled the Japanese international. Shaw is fouled. Great upper body strength. Cunning and guile there. Holding possession. Bjorn just turned it to the ground. Shaw's left hand might well have had a clutch of Natalie Bjorn's shirt. But it was blindside to the referee. Facial features pinched with the cold. It's a raw night in West London. Greenwood want to have a go at this, though Jess Park is to the left. Right-footed player, Alex Greenwood is a lefty. I just wonder if Hampton's given herself too much to do, but she's played it across, looking for short. Another one wide for the player who has had their best chance of the game really in the first half when she dragged that shot off target, you'll remember. Not her night so far, Bunny Shaw. Got up way above Lucy Bronze. 6 foot Khadija Shaw. Kujina, too strong for her there, was Shokanuski. Shaw battling away. Being watched tonight, by the way, by one of her biggest fans, Usain Bolt, fellow Jamaican. Stalemate. Hampton, it's her first decent ball out with her feet, but she's giving Baltimore too much to do, really. Ramirez gives chase. Kennedy is there. Game needs a goal. Sandy Baltimore. Just got a knock on the top of her foot there. There is the great man. Probably watching a Sunday matinee film on his phone. Maybe he's watching some of his own great moments from the past, and what great moments there were. Great Usain Bolt. High ball forward, cut out by Uwabi. Cuthbert arriving, just wide of the far post, but she's taking up more forward positions in this second half than she did in the first. 57 minutes gone. Ramirez held it up well. Cuthbert came driving through and drove it wide. Here's Kennedy. Now Millie Bright, no time for her. Normally right-footed player having to play off that left side of the centre-back pairing. Ward got back well. Here she is again. Chelsea supporters rise, the noise rises as well. Whitting Canary. Hit Uwabi, very optimistic appeals from some of the crowd for handball. Whitting Canary again. Bronze in Ramirez. Battling on bravely, Ramirez. Now Nuskin with a shot well wide. Snatched that a little bit. Defensive error came to the German international. Here's Kennedy. As Agawa plays out, Roard. And here's Uwabi. Can't get into the game at all. Roard. No one in the middle really for her to get across. Insured come deep. She's asking too much with the return pass. Far too much. Ramirez, right into one on the far side. Greenwood, lovely challenge. Being watched by the England head coach as well today. Chelsea fans wanted a free kick. Ayoba Fujino becoming more influential in this second half. Imagine Gareth Taylor saying, go on, have a run at Sandy Baltimore. She's not a natural left back. But she won that free kick. Well, her team boasts amongst them 75 major club honours. Manchester City, 61 major club honours. They're talking about two of the top teams in Europe meeting here tonight. It hasn't been blessed with great quality. Nervy, competitive. One mistake could swing it. I'm also surprised that Chelsea have let Kennedy have so much time on the ball here. No one prepared to press her with any great industry, force an error. And a point would suit Manchester City, of course, far more than it would do Chelsea. That's offside. Came from an offside position. Kasparet. Sagara forced it through the middle to Ramirez. Pretty sure there'll be a change imminently. Yamashita under pressure. Kennedy scuffed it away. Glares at a goalkeeper, but there was nothing really that Yamashita could do. She was put under pressure. Here's Bright now. Dragged the left foot cross into the middle. It's tidier football from Chelsea. You have Macario on the bench, Brazilian centre-forward, USA international, but born in São Luís in Brazil. She could come and have an impact. As an attacking player. Other options, I guess. Beaver Jones, who was sent off in midweek in the Champions League. Wide player. Hasegawa to a Japanese teammate, Fujino. Both went to the Summer Olympics. Yamashita was there as well in Paris. Samano in the Chelsea side was there too. Manchester City won't want to make attacking options through the middle, but they might bring on Chloe Kelly, I think. Be surprised if they don't. Fujino taking on Baltimore. That's a decent challenge. Fujino battles back. It's becoming an intriguing battle between the two of them. Little duels all over the pitch. Ramirez against Greenwood is another. Shaw against Bright is another. And here's Natalie Bjorn. Cuthbert. Unlike her, but I think the pass was aimed at Guro Reiten. 7 times a champion of the land with Chelsea. 4 times a cup winner, League Cup winner too. Kerstin Kasparet. "20 minutes to go. 25 minutes to go, I beg your pardon. Chance for Ramirez, half a chance, pulled it back in looking for Reiten, couldn't get there. Owabi was back defending, whistle was blown anyway. Big games up and coming. Manchester City play that return fixture against Hammarby, having won 2-0 in the week. And the remaining Champions League group fixtures, St. Paulton at home. And they won away there 3-2, by the way, and Barcelona away. Beat Barcelona at home 2-0. Chelsea's remaining Champions League fixtures, Celtic at home, they won 2-1 up in Scotland in the week. Very late win up, 20 at home, and then Real Madrid away. This hasn't been Champions League form by either of them, but now Rourke sets up Fujino. Shaw's in the middle, cross deflected away by Baltimore, covered ground to make sure that cross didn't come in. Got something on it. Fujino is becoming crucial now for Manchester City. Again, possession turned over. Chelsea back for retreat. Bjorn was playing Fujino on side. soon as they pick the ball up, they look to attack. As soon as possession is turned over. Shaw against Ramirez, look, that could be absolutely crucial. Shaw got goal side, his shirt was being pulled all over the place there. Referee had a good view of it as well. And here's Sandy Baltimore popping up on the right-hand side. Lovely turn by Cuthbert. Couldn't force the pass through. Rather, it was Newskin actually. Well, this could be crucial. She's holding her wrist. But look at this, Ramirez here. Got her arms on her there, and there, and there. I think Khadija Shaw is then leaning back and looking for that one. She might have had her wrist stamped on there innocently as she went to ground. Yeah, I think she did. The two Chelsea players converged on her. Might have got a bit winded in the fall. Not enough in the eyes of the referee for a penalty to be given. And from her body language there, she's suggesting that Khadija Shaw flung herself backwards to get the free kick, the penalty kick it would have been. Oh yeah, painful one. Right on the wrist. And they will be communicating back to the bench. Caught on that painful area where there's a massive nerves at the bottom of the arm. She'd have felt that all the way up her arm. It's interesting that Hannah Hampton in the Chelsea goal immediately called for medical assistance. There's Chloe Kelly. Hasn't really happened for her this year. Only one league start. She played 12 minutes against Spurs in the last game. And it's such a wonderful Euro 22 with England. Won the trophy, played out by Kennedy. Kasper had gone forward a long, long way. Prugino. Decent combination attacking on that right-hand side for Manchester City. Got to go 4 matches unbeaten against Chelsea in a row would be a coup for Manchester City. They'd stay clear at the top. Don't forget, Chelsea do have a game in hand. Bjorn will clear it away. Have that game in hand because their match against Manchester United was postponed earlier on this season. In time to prepare for the Champions League match. Oh, Abby. Chelsea are battling hard. They've had a percentage of the ball. You've had the effort wide by Bjorn, but then look at the efforts off target by Shaw. I just don't think Manchester City have ever looked in any real danger. The early header by Bright, bringing the save out of Mashta, notwithstanding, but here's Kennedy. Alana Kennedy again. Tom just put her foot on the ball and play out. And in the last 18 minutes, the fear of losing becomes uppermost in the mind of players. Wants her players, her team, to be attacking and take the risks. Leon and Chelsea, the game she's taken charge of, 127 as a coach, 412 goals in that time. None tonight. Will be the first time they failed to score this season, Chelsea. And also the first time that Manchester City have failed to score. They've now gone 413 minutes without conceding. Here's Ramirez. Maybe they'll concede now. No, they won't, not like that. Days like this, when Fran Kirby has popped up with a winner for Brighton Hove Albion, you wonder if she'd have had an effect. Left the club in the summer, of course. Wanted to go, move on to new pastures. Sam Kerr would have made a difference, of course, and so would Lauren Hemp. Here's Park, stamped out by Bright. Now it breaks to Hamana. Looks for Ramirez, strong there. Greenwood backing away to time her challenge. Let's get into the penalty area, and Ramirez scores. They backed away, and they backed away too far. And Ramirez breaks the deadlock. 1-0 to Chelsea. With stays like this, they move top. Taking a long time to come. She back too deep, did Alex Greenwood. As soon as it comes through here to Hamana, Manchester City are in trouble. Ramirez pointing, she wants it there. Too strong for Kennedy. Greenwood feared she couldn't engage, and then she let her come inside to get the shot at goal. And Ramirez, who scored in their last game against Liverpool, nets again, and Chelsea are ahead in the big one. Quarter of an hour to go when she netted that. Key to the goal was her strength that just brushed Alana Kennedy aside. And then the willingness to run at Greenwood, who's been excellent. They shouldn't have shown her inside there. Here's Fowler. Greenwood away. Now Shaw. They need a big performance from the big player. Comfortable save for Hampton in that Chelsea goal. And Manchester City looking at a first defeat since May, when Arsenal went up there to the Tri-Stadium and won. Unbeaten away in 11 WSL games. Chelsea look for Ramirez again. Greenwood tucks it up this time. Brighton, Hamana, Greenwood defending well. His right turn, went to place it. Nearly got it in. Now the confidence is flowing. Went for that bottom corner. She was about a yard wide. Who's so often in her career got big goals at big moments, Mayra Ramirez. Cugino. It's just a careless pass. Too many of those today. Ramirez. Burrow and bulldoze away through the middle. Ritzing Canarin comes in on her left. Big deflection, took it wide off Awabi. Chelsea hungry for a second. Came off Greenwood, actually. Second goal would surely win it. Great reception for one of Chelsea's most popular players ever. 11 major trophies she's won as a Chelsea player. Been superb. Hoisted into the far post area. Shaw came to attack it. Cuthbert knocks it back into the mix. Now Bronze cuts a lovely ball away to right and went to place it. Placed it brilliantly. Chelsea are heading top. They're heading for a 2-0 win. 2 goals in 3 minutes. Manchester City, once the first goal went in, looked to beat the side. And Brighton has surely made sure of that fact. Seven goals she has now in 10 games this season. Found by Bronze, the clever ball by Lucy Bronze, who's been excellent all night long. And once again, they showed a player onto her best foot, onto her stronger foot. And she finished decisively. Greenwood came to meet her, got squared up, right and went onto that left foot, steered it home. Well, Coombs and Kelly are coming on for Manchester City. And Chess Park, who's been largely quiet, has gone off, and so too Mary Fowler. Again, she's had a quiet evening, and I just wonder whether or not Gareth Taylor got it wrong. Here's Ramirez again, holding off Greenwood, who just squeezed it away. Ramirez has kept it in, I think. Supporters there, no, she hasn't. It's a goal kick. She's offside anyway. Well, she wasn't there. No, I think he flagged for the ball going out of play. Yes, I wonder whether Chloe Kelly should have started for only the second time in the WSL. Roared, she's been quiet. Bond's been terrific for Chelsea. Now Bunny Shaw, but flung herself at it. And push has come to shove if Chelsea wanted it just a little bit more. She roared. Kelly. And the block was there this time by Newskin. Canarin nearly too strong for all of them. It'll bounce kindly for her here. Kennedy's got no pace to keep with her. Greenwood can't keep with her. Ritzing Canarin check back into an opposition player. I thought she had all the pace to go all the way. Beneficiary of the bounce. Greenwood thought it was handball. Then Hasegawa showed no composure in that tight area, made a present of it to Retincana. She knew Greenwood was coming back at her. That's decent defending by Alex Greenwood. Chelsea about to bring on Lawrence for Guru Wright, and they've got a tremendous reception, you could hear it. So it's a defensive move for them. Ashley Lawrence, ever present this season in all competitions, and is still. She came on in midweek for a minute. Canadian international defender. Over towards the far post area, Bronze is there. Corner kick. Really back to her best tonight. A significant day in the WSL season, and a third Chelsea goal would land a huge psychological blow. Baltimore with it, bit of arc on the corner kick, back header was a good one, wasn't it? Just wide from the back, Newskin, the central midfield player, clever header mind you. Coming away from goal, that's a difficult art. Ramirez and Wrighton took their goals very well. Cannot deny them that, but on both occasions Gareth Taylor will be really unhappy with the defending. Kennedy. She did well, but then she played Bjorn into trouble. Retincana, good carrier of the ball. Greenwood cut it out. But has worked hard, could be tiring. Kennedy. Alana Kennedy has never been happy to move forward from this position, take the ball on 5 or 6 strides, draw a Chelsea player towards her, then release. She's played from that position all game long. It's not going to hurt Chelsea from there. Hermana. Newski. It's a foul. Baltimore a little bit rash in the challenge on Fujino. That first Chelsea goal came at the end of Fujino's best spell in the game. And on this historic weekend for WSL football, with all the matches taking place in the big stadium, Sonia Bonpastor will create history as well, the first manager to win their first 7 games in the WSL. Only the 3rd team ever to win their opening 8 games of a campaign. Manchester City slipping up for the first time. Seems inevitable now. Kennedy. Coombs. Lawrence on with a fresh pair of legs to harass and harry off that left-hand side. Here's Greenwood. Sure, she got in here. Hampton comes to grapple at her feet, and she got there to applause from her teammates. Been an off day for Khadija Shaw. 4 attempts off target. The 2 she's had on target have been easily dealt with by Hampton. Had she taken that one in the first half, would have been a different story. Cuthbert. Baltimore. For Manchester City, 2 minutes to go, 2 down. It's something of a miracle here. This is a tricky run from her though. Decent at times, no end product. Coombs, high swinger. Comfortable for the England international. More Chelsea changes coming up, I think. Ramirez is going to go off. She's looked to the bench. Maybe Beaver-Jones is warming up. Well, because of the substitutions, the injury to Khadija Shaw's wrist, the physios are on, there will be a significant amount of stoppage time. I'm told there will be 6 minutes. Here comes the change with Beaver-Jones coming on. There's Maya Ramirez. The greater crowd works the socks off, always does. And also a late substitution with the return game against Celtic in mind. I guess international football coming up for these players too. Power, strength, determination, and then the cool finish. And comes Aggie Beaver-Jones, the 21-year-old. Made a debut for England in the summer. Still an ever-present note. That run will end when she's banned from the Celtic return game, having been sent off in Scotland. Lawrence. Cuthbert has been so strong for Chelsea in the second half. Where would Emma Hayes' side have been without Erin Cuthbert in that midfield? Things are expected, and no doubt will be, so tight between these two sides. Does Chelsea look for another? That's a comfortable save this time from Yamashita. But basically after this, Manchester City may not be able to afford a single more defeat this season. Sure. Strong challenge on her by Millie Bright, who will think she's won that little contest, really. I know Shaw's had her chances, but hasn't scored. The Ramirez goal with a quarter hour to go is absolutely crucial. Hermana, here's Cuthbert. Braun's got a little bit late this time, Wabi. Kelly, Cuthbert covering back. What a game she's had. Giroud comparatively quiet. Manchester City have missed Lauren Hemp just as they missed Khadija Shaw at the end of last season when they petered away from a very strong position and lost the title on goal difference. And let's not forget, Chelsea do not have Sam Kerr. Do not have Lauren James. Out wide by Hermana. Martin Canara will want to go outside, I think. Wabi showed her that way. Getting inside, of course, to help get that goal. Talented player. Good turn of pace. 27-year-old Swede. Had success back in Scandinavia, won the cup with Hacken. Chelsea also came into this game with a day less to prepare after the Champions League matches. And I think they've had the outstanding players in this game. Cuthbert, bronze. Kennedy. Good turn by Roord. Off the back foot into space. Fujino cut out by Bright. Ruskin is there to cover. Does that role very well. Can play as a centre back, of course. Isagawa quiet in this second half. Out by Baltimore. Who says go on? Isagawa. Here's Greenwood. Now Giroud to power on. Far more of the ball, Manchester City, than Chelsea. They've had over 62% of it. Greenwood. The quality of passing by both teams at times, for teams of this ability, has been disappointing. Thousands of international caps earned by both sets of players. Trophies won. Kelly's got the better of her England teammate Lucy Bronze, was hurt there. Goes on, cuts it back short. She's having an off day. Fujino. Coombs wanted it. Kasper over the cross, that's easy for the goalkeeper, who shouted decisively and called for it. Chelsea warming up Macario to come on. Well, I'm not too sure she'll have time to get on. Put down by Beaver Jones. Decisive win for Chelsea here. We go back to the top of the WSL. An historic start for Sonia Bonpastor, the first ever manager to win the first 7 games in the Women's Super League. And they've won it with a goal by Ramirez a quarter of an hour from time. And just 3 minutes later with a goal by Guro Reiten. They wanted it more. They had the better players on the pitch in Bronze and Cuthbert, the strength of Ramirez. And for Manchester City, Bunny Shaw had a day